negotiation for the government. Goodness me, when was the election? February 26th. Still continuing, independence in there, sort of a deal between Fianna Fail and Fine Gael. What will we end up with? Well, Vincent Brown, broadcaster and journalist, says this is the worst possible outcome of the general election. He wrote an article for the Journal.ie. Vincent, good morning.
Hi, Declan.
Good morning to you. Explain.
That we've had negotiations going on between Fianna Fail and Fine Gael on policy, and therefore the Dáil will be rendered and agreement, and therefore the Dáil will be rendered irrelevant yet again. They also have already fixed the Dáil agenda between them. They wouldn't allow a debate on motor charges over the last few weeks. So we're back to the same old politics, even though we were promised so much would change. And there seemed to be an opportunity as a result of this election to change politics very fundamentally, but that opportunity is now gone, or appears to be gone.
So the way they read it was the only way to get the numbers to vote a Taoiseach and therefore a government was to do a deal which excluded a lot of the things you're talking about.
Yes, that's what they said, but that wasn't true. They could simply have agreed, and this could be an agreement ongoing, that whichever party gets the most seats, that party forms a government, unless it's to be a coalition government. And that's it. And then has to negotiate everything openly in the Dáil or in Dáil committees. That would be a far better way of doing things. It would be far more open. The decisions would almost certainly be much better than they are. But instead, we've had all these decisions agreed in secret by Fianna Fail and Fine Gael, and the Dáil again is rendered irrelevant.
So the priority was to get numbers to run the place rather than to look at issues that could be sorted out. So you say in your article some of the pressing issues that people might expect would be sorted, but there will be inaction on them.
Yeah, there will be no action. Just to give you an example, will there be a Dáil inquiry or a Rocket inquiry into the tax haven issue? The secret deal is done with multinational corporations on tax. Will that happen? No, it certainly will not happen now, because Fianna Fail and Fine Gael together will prevent it happening. Similarly, with regard to a lot of other things, NAMA, IBRC, a whole range of other things, it won't happen. Also, with regard to policies, the policies that might make this a better or fairer society, we're now dependent on the ideology of Fianna Fail and Fine Gael, which is the same market-driven ideology which reinforces and deepens inequality.
So what was the alternative, given that the outcome of the general election was really in the people's hands, that the people voted these particular politicians in? What was the alternative way that the politicians could have acted upon those numbers?
Well, I've told you that they could have agreed that whichever party gets the most seats forms the government. That's Fine Gael. And then Fine Gael negotiates every issue bit by bit throughout the lifetime of the Dáil. And that would mean it would be done openly. And also it's likely the decisions would be far better. For instance, had that been done in relation to Irish water, there wouldn't have been the debacle that Irish water has become if that had happened. But also a whole range of other things. And we then see the real options that there are on policy decisions and the arguments for and against various options, and then be able to say, well, why do parties take one option rather than another? All of that, which is the essence of political debate and political discourse, but this is all now rendered naught by what's happened. And made worse now by the negotiations with the TDs, so the SAD TDs will be drawn into this coalition. Almost all of them will lose their seats next time. And that will be a salutary outcome for them.
Are our politicians ready for new politics as such? Or are they wedded to a traditional way of doing things, because this is what you do if you're in politics?
Yes, the latter. It's the latter. Politics is now just about which crowd gets the political jobs, gets the big ministerial jobs and the smaller ministerial jobs. That's all our politics is about. It's not about different conceptions of how we should run our society, or whether to make it more equal or less equal, or go for growth and hell with the consequences, or whatever. That's not what it's about. It's about which crowd gets the job, and it's degenerated into that.
And who'll gain from this?
Fianna Fail and Fine Gael, for the time being, but I'm not sure what will happen when this thing collapses after a relatively short time. I think the Fianna Fail could get it in the neck. Of course, Fine Gael would get it in the neck anyway, but Fianna Fail could get it in the neck, and if there's to be a beneficiary, it would almost certainly be Sinn Féin, who incidentally won't make any difference either.
So it won't last the 3 years, in your view?
I don't think so, but it could be, and it could last for the 5 years if they done it openly. But now it's the way they've done it means that it is vulnerable to unexpected prices, and these happen on a regular basis.
Sorry.
And unexpected prices, and suddenly somebody discovering a principle and pulling the rug on what they think is a principle.
Yeah. Or maybe there'll be something else behind it when they do something.
Oh, yes. That's, of course, there's something else behind it.
We had the experience here of having Mildred Fox supporting Bertie Ahern, and having a list that took over 5 years, or took at least 5 years to deliver. How do you think that the independents, especially the ones that are interested in giving their support to the minority government of Fine Gael, how do you think they're playing it?
Well, it's often been said that what's called pork barrel politics will dominate now with the independents being in. And as that happened when Jackie Healy-Rae and Michael Lowry and whoever else supported one of the Fianna Fail governments. But an academic did an examination of this over the last while and found that the advantages that a Taoiseach brings to a constituency far outweigh advantages than any pork barrel independent TD brings to constituency. Now, that doesn't seem to have happened in Mayo, but this is because Enda screwed it up, as he screwed up the election there. They could easily have won 3 seats, but their vote management wasn't as good as it was in Belmiri or in Meath East. But generally, what happens, and nobody bothers making remarks about this, is that Taoiseach and ministers benefit their constituencies very significantly from being in office, but the focus is all on what independent TDs get.
Well, interesting times. We'll see what happens. When do you think there'll be a government?
When do I think there'll be a what?
When do you think there'll be a government? Yeah,
I suppose this week or early next week. I assume.
Yeah.
All predictions are wrong anyway. I don't know, Declan.
Are you back on the telly tonight?
Yeah.
Good. We missed you.
We'll be arguing about all that.
We look forward to that, Vincent.
All right.
Thank you very much indeed. And the article's in Journal.ie. Thanks very much indeed. Vincent Brown there with his views of the current negotiations for the minority government. Right then, it's 087 77 11 103. Will they ever get fixed up? We don't know. We'll wait and see.